2 minutes, guys, and get out of here, okay? I know you got a deadline to go drink.
How did you just regroup the guys after Kevin's injury?
You know, there's sometimes in life you really don't have the words to handle that situation. And all I did was I brought them all together, and he said to me 5 times, "I'm okay, just win the game." I got everybody over after we covered up the injury. I said, "Listen to him." And he said it over 10 times, "Just win the game, I'll be okay." So it had to come from him, and it did. Then we battled serious foul trouble. Then we battled a great team, and the guys came through for Kevin.
The fact that he could speak, how calming was that to your team? To hear those words come out of his mouth?
Well, he was really fine until the two of us looked down at his leg. I went to help him up, and he looked down and I looked down. And then, obviously, we both lost it. And then everybody saw it. And we didn't get it covered up fast enough because you're not at the bench and you got to go down. So it was tough to look at.
Rick, how hard is that as a coach?
Well, I've not seen anything like that. You know, I've seen guys blow out the ACL. But I've never seen an injury like that before. And then to see the players distraught, I'm distraught. And he just carried us through with what he said, and I gathered him and I said, "Get around him. He wants to tell you something," and he kept repeating it, and that got us through it.
That hit you hard, Coach. How'd you pull it together?
Say it again.
That hit you hard. How'd you pull it together?
You know, I don't think. Once I spoke to the trainer at halftime, and he told me it's Michael Bush's injury. He said, "It'll take some time, Coach, but he'll be fine." Once I knew that, then I could regroup and just get them refocused. But I had to hear that from the trainer that he's going to be fine. Because I never seen anything like that in my life.
You make the big second half runs, like 17-2. Just talk about the character and the poise and all that stuff.
Well, at halftime, we played great defense. We tried to confuse them, tried to run some things to take Curry and Kelly out of the game. When Kelly came back in the game, we just went right after him. In the second half, believe it or not, our offense won the game because it was wearing them out defensively. And it was using the clock, and we did a lot of really, really good things for Gorgie, getting Gorgie his jump shot. So, you know, we played north and south. And if you play laterally against Duke, you're going to be in trouble. But you have to take Duke out of the three-point shot. You have to take them out of transition. I mean, they only had 2 transitions the entire game. That means you're taking great shots offensively.
Was that as good as Peyton has been in the second half and during that stretch all year?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a superbly conditioned athlete. Russ was dead. Russ was just gassed. And Tim, we have to get Tim Henderson. We got to get going forward. Luke into the backcourt a little bit more. We got to get Tim Henderson to play a little bit more. Kevin Ware was a big component to our defense and our offense. And you know, when Russ and Peyton press full court, drop back and dog the ball, run all those pick and rolls, you can't do it unless you get a break. And we got a little bit from Tim tonight. Luke gave us big minutes. Gorgie, I told the guys, look, if this is just Gorgie and Russ, you can't beat them with 2 guys. You've got to beat them with 9 or 10 guys tonight. And every single guy plays. Shane played big. Stephen Van Treese played big. Tim Henderson, although it was a 30 seconds at a time, gave us smart plays. And then Luke was magnificent.
Ever had as bittersweet a celebration?
Well, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Now, if this was a career-ending injury, we all know how good Michael Bush is right now. And it's a Michael Bush injury. So he's going to be fine. We'll get him through it. The most important thing for us was to get him back home. His home's Atlanta, to get him back home. And he gathered us together. His words were how we focused. And I just told him at halftime, I said, guys, we don't get him home to Atlanta, it wasn't worth playing this season. And they did it.
You've been to the Final Four now. This is your 7th time. Is it any different than all the expectations you had this year? You know, it takes some luck, you told me before the year, but now to have accomplished that.
The way we were doing it, our offense caught up to our defense. You know, we weren't the best offensive team. Obviously, you can see we're not a great three-point shooting team. So we had to create different things. We had to create a 15-foot jump shot for Gorgie. We had to create pick-and-roll situations with movement first. And so our offense caught up. Our defense has always been very good. For me, you know, it's like every year you expect to play every game as if it's your last game. And that's all I ask the guys to do. I've never in my life looked at a Final Four. And then when I looked at this bracket, Somebody characterized it best that it was a death bracket, and it really was a death bracket. I've never played the likes of a Colorado State with 5 seniors in the second round, with that much talent, that well coached. Oregon next, and then of course Duke. You're facing 3 teams that could be in a Final Four, and now you're going to go in and play Wichita State, who I actually picked them to go to a Final Four. I thought they would get there because I watched them play VCU at VCU, and I said, man, that's one hell of a basketball team. So we know we've got two great games coming up if we're fortunate enough to get it to a championship game. But we got to take Wichita State, break them down, and just make some adjustments with Kevin being out.
To leave the Nets up, what kind of message were you sending leaving those Nets up there?
You know, it really wasn't a message. We're not trying to say we're a potential champion. I just gave the guys goals after we lost 5 overtimes to Notre Dame, which, by the way, every other year we're getting blown out at Notre Dame. So it really didn't bother. I said, look, don't worry about it. We just broke down mentally in that game. I said, now the mental facets of our game have to catch up to how much heart you're playing with. Let's win 7. That's one goal. Let's win the Big East tournament, which is very special to us and the last time it's ever played. Let's get the number 1 of number 1 seeds, and let's not cut any nets down until the final day we play. It may be us, but there's 3 other teams that are going to have a say in this. So we'll just keep on working hard, and maybe it will be us.
Losing Kevin,
thanks, guys. We're done.